welcome to episode 53 of REDtalks.live. I'm your host, Nathan Pierce, and it's great to be back. I took a bit of time out, and to relaunch this show, I'm doing a mini-series on remote working. There are plenty of people who are familiar with remote working, especially in the tech industry, but most people are not. And there are some great tips and tricks I've learned along the way, and so have many others, and I hope to collect them as part of this series and share with you all that will make this a much simpler, anxious-free experience. So this first episode, technical people who know me are probably expecting me to talk about webcams and microphones and desk setups, but no, I'm talking about something far more important than all of that, and that is empathy. And when I was trying to think about how I should start this series, I was looking at my LinkedIn feed and I saw a quote from social media mindset celebrity Simon Sinek when he was asking everyone to really think about empathy. He said, "This is the perfect time to practice empathy. You're in the safety of your own home, a comfortable environment." I think too many people with internet-based services believe that if someone's wrong on the internet, in their opinion, that person must be corrected, and they're very quick to jump to that, and not in the nicest way in a lot of counts. And that's not just on the internet. People just generally, when in a heightened anxiety situation. I myself was at the supermarket only 2 weeks ago, and someone started being very aggressive towards me, just because they wanted to get out of the store. They were just not coping, and I had to be very careful about how I responded to that, because I had to stop and think, like, this isn't about me right now, even though all of this is being directed at me. And the best thing I can do is just quickly get this done, get out of the way, and give this person some space. So that goes the same online. I saw a fantastic example of this earlier. Someone who clearly was struggling with the situation on Twitter had posted, how can you all be talking about JavaScript right now with what's going on in the world? And it was actually really nice to see. The first few responses were all people just explaining, well, this is my coping mechanism, and if I talk about it, that's normalcy for me, and that's what's going to get me through this. So these people had realized, that spiraling out of control served nobody, not themselves or the people around them. But what I loved was that these people demonstrated empathy, because let's face it, we've all seen people get torn down just for making a statement like that or asking a question like that. So it wasn't everyone. Sure, there was some snarky responses in there and some people criticizing heavily, but I liked that it was well over half stopped to think and applied to their response, how can I make this person maybe take something positive out of it? So sure, there's always going to be jerks, but it made me feel good about humanity that it was well over 50% that stepped up, because the internet, the social media I know from a month ago, I don't think did show that much empathy. And so it's good we can rally together, but we need more of this. We need more people. So you know what? When someone is wrong on the internet, take a breath, maybe write it down, maybe take a walk, make a cup of tea. Then just think, what does this person maybe need to feel as calm and relaxed as I do? Instead of telling them they're wrong. So yeah, empathy is great. And even in your relationships within the workplace, if you've worked in an office environment where maybe your boss has always felt comfortable knowing you're there working and now can't see you, and that gives them a little bit of anxiety. So if they're checking up on you all the time, have that chat with them, just like, hey, I'm here, I'm still working just like I was. But I'm having trouble being productive with this constant questioning of what I'm doing right now. What am I doing right now? And equally, managers, hopefully your employees haven't seen this as an opportunity to just watch streaming media all day long. But you need to trust them. You're not going to earn that trust if you are nagging them constantly. So maybe this is a great time to hand over some of that responsibility and coach them and mentor them on self-reporting. Which is probably something a good manager should have been implementing previously anyway. So there's some awesome things we can start to do now and implement so that we all have a better working relationship. And I think that will greatly improve when people come back to the office and the way that you've learned to all trust each other then as well. So yeah, number one on this series, I thought empathy was the right one to talk about. That's what's going to get us through, far more than technology and anything you might be able to buy and sit on a desk. So in the next episode, because I want to encourage people to bring questions or suggestions or recommendations of what they do, so I want to introduce the next topic early. And in episode 2 of this mini series, we're going to talk about framing your day. In my 15 years of working remote, I only learned this one a couple of years ago, and I wished I'd known it from the start. From a mindset perspective, the way I frame my day, the start and the end of it, makes a huge difference to how productive I am through the middle. So we'll talk about framing your day. If anyone's got any tips about that, if you already know what I'm talking about, please do submit them. Go to the website, REDtalks.live. Please subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more enthusiastic I'll be about continuing this and sharing this information. If you do subscribe, I'm never going to bother you with anything other than sharing a new post and new information. So anyway, that's the first episode back after my little break. It's great to be here, and thanks for listening.